Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Iga Swiatek told something huge has just happened for her at Wimbledon after reaching the fourth round. Iga Swiatek has made it through to the fourth round of Wimbledon after beating American player Danielle Collins. The former world number one, who has really impressed former WTA star Lindsay Davenport, produced her best performance at this year's championships, defeating Collins 6-2, 6-3 on center court. Despite winning Junior Wimbledon in 2018, grass has historically been Swiatek's weakest surface. She has never made it past the quarter-final stage at Wimbledon. However, an opportunity has presented itself to Swiatek this year, due to a mass exodus of seeds from the women's draw, including Coco Gauff and Jessica Pegula. The poll has been presented a further opportunity, after something huge happened at the championships on Sunday. Elena Rybakina's Wimbledon exit is huge for Iga Swiatek. Elena Rybakina, who won the ladies' singles title in 2022, exited the competition on Sunday afternoon after losing to Denmark's Clara Tauson. Speaking on the tennis podcast on Sunday night, journalist Catherine Whitaker noted the importance of Rybakina's loss to Clara Tauson, who plays Swiatek in the next round. Whitaker said, "That's huge for Swiatek, isn't it? Rybakina going out." Journalist Matt Roberts replied, "I think so. I was looking at that as a real roadblock in the draw, to be quite honest, given what we've seen Rybakina do in the past against Swiatek. You know, even just a month ago she was leading that match at Roland Garros comfortably. I know Swiatek turned it around. Obviously now I'm a grass court Iga Swiatek convert, but on the clay it made more sense that Swiatek was able to turn that around. Had that been on grass, I think that would have been a real challenge for her, and I just think with Tauson, yes, she does have power. She doesn't have complete smothering power like Rybakina at her best does, and also if Swiatek plays like she did today, she can absorb the Tauson power and move her side to side and be patient in rallies. If she serves well herself, that'll give her a foundation. As you said, it's a two-pronged reason why that was a good day for Iga Swiatek today, and look, maybe Tauson can defy her own quotes and play like that again, and in which case she would be dangerous, but I don't know, I think I'm backing Swiatek there." Catherine Whitaker agreed with Roberts, backing Swiatek to win against Tauson. The only seed ranked higher than Swiatek, seeded 8th, in her half of the draw is now 18-year-old Mira Andreeva, who is ranked at 7. Iga Swiatek passes Martina Hingis for Grand Slam win percentage. Swiatek made more history on Monday following her victory over Danielle Collins, overtaking Martina Hingis on an important Grand Slam statistic. As per Optarace, Swiatek now holds the 11th highest winning percentage in women's singles Grand Slam events in the Open era, winning 82.8% of her matches, 96-20. This has surpassed Martina Hingis' percentage of 82.7. Swiatek will have to reach the semi-finals to beat Yvonne Goolagong's winning percentage of 83.1. The poll is set to face Clara Tauson on Monday, with a time yet to be scheduled. Something huge just happened. Iga Swiatek's quiet triumph at Wimbledon. Wimbledon, England, the lawns of the All England Club are famously unforgiving. Their traditions are ancient, their grass hallowed, and their pressure unlike anywhere else in tennis. But on a windy golden Saturday afternoon in July 2025, something shifted, not in the air or on the scoreboard, but within Iga Swiatek herself. After clinching her spot in the fourth round with a tightly contested 3-set victory, Swiatek stood at the net, her chest rising and falling with both exhaustion and quiet pride. When she sat down for her post-match interview, she was asked, not for the first time, what had changed for her this year at Wimbledon. Her response was simple, but it resonated far beyond the words. "I think something huge just happened for me today. I started to believe I can win here. Not just play, not just survive, but really, truly win." It wasn't the typical boast of a player chasing another slam. It was a rare glimpse into a private evolution, one that had been quietly building for years on grass courts that never quite embraced her, and that she, until now, had never quite embraced back. The shadow of clay. Swiatek's dominance on clay is unquestioned. The four-time French Open champion has often seemed untouchable on the red dirt of Roland Garros, her movement balletic, her topspin unrelenting. But grass? Grass had always been the asterisk in her resume, the surface that invited whispers about her incompleteness as a champion. In interviews past, she spoke candidly, even humbly, about her discomfort on grass. The low bounce, the timing, the need to feel the ball in a way that grass didn't allow. Critics, and even some fans, wondered if she would ever find her footing at Wimbledon. In the era of all-surface champions, her grass court results felt oddly out of step with her otherwise meteoric career. And yet, if you paid close attention, you could see the quiet groundwork being laid, early exits turning into second weeks, her footwork improving, her slice becoming more confident. But belief. That was still a work in progress. The match that changed everything. Her third-round opponent this year was a tricky, unseeded veteran with nothing to lose, the kind of player who lives for upsetting the rhythm of higher seeds. Swiatek dropped the first set, misreading serves and overhitting from the baseline. The crowd buzzed with the potential of an upset. But what came next was not just a comeback, it was a conversion. Between points in the second set, Swiatek began bouncing on the balls of her feet with a kind of nervous joy. She smiled at her box after clean winners. Her strokes grew looser, not tighter. She began to serve and volley, and it worked. She threw in a sneaky drop shot, then followed it up with a thundering backhand down the line. Her opponent began to unravel under the pressure of a player who, suddenly, was no longer just adapting to grass, she was thriving on it. She took the second set 6-3 and then ran away with the third, 6-1. The crowd rose in a standing ovation that felt more like a coronation. When she walked off the court, the whispers changed tone. They no longer asked, "Can she?" They began to murmur, "She just might." The psychology of a champion. What Swiatek admitted after the match wasn't about technique or tactics. It was about belief, the most intangible, but arguably most essential weapon in a tennis player's arsenal. And for Swiatek, who is famously introspective and mentally disciplined, this wasn't just a fleeting confidence boost. It was a tectonic shift. She has long worked with sports psychologists, openly championing the importance of mental strength and mindfulness. But Wimbledon had always remained her inner mountain. The tradition, the white outfits, the pristine grass, they seemed to carry a weight that went beyond tennis. She never looked quite at home. Until now. When asked what felt different this year, she replied, "I think I stopped trying to be someone else on grass. I'm not going to play like a serve and volley queen. I'm going to play like Iga. And today, that was enough." It's a lesson that echoes beyond tennis. The idea that growth often comes not from becoming something new, but from trusting who you already are. The bigger picture. Her words, "Something huge just happened for me today," weren't about winning a title. Not yet. But they were about alignment. Of game, of belief, and of possibility. Champions are not built in finals. They are built in those quiet, gritty third rounds when the world isn't watching, and yet something vital is forged. Swiatek's evolution at Wimbledon is more than a subplot in her career. It's a symbol of what it means to chase completeness. Roger Federer, after all, didn't win the French Open until deep into his prime. Novak Djokovic's breakthrough at Roland Garros took years. Greatness is not a straight line. It's a series of quiet, stubborn breakthroughs. This might be Swiatek's moment of ignition on grass. Or maybe not. Tennis is a cruel, non-linear sport. But what's undeniable is that a psychological barrier has been broken, and that kind of shift, once made, is hard to reverse. From contender to believer. As she enters the second week, the draw only gets harder. Veterans with pedigree. Upstarts with nothing to lose. The margins get tighter, the grass more slippery, the pressure heavier. But something fundamental is different now. Swiatek believes she belongs here, not as a visitor from clay, but as a rightful contender. That's more powerful than any topspin forehand or sliced return. 4 years, fans and pundits alike have waited for that moment. The one where she stepped into Wimbledon not with trepidation, but with hunger. Now, they've seen it. And more importantly, so has she. A quiet kind of huge. The word huge in sports often conjures images of trophies, roars, and headlines. But sometimes, huge is quiet. It's personal. It's a player walking off court and, for the first time, not just hoping she can win Wimbledon, but knowing, in her bones, that she can. And that kind of belief changes everything.